Do you want more success, more growth, more results? Then it's time for the Boundless Success Accelerator from the Modern Observer Group. This isn't your average coaching program. It's where top performers come to dominate. Weekly group sessions, on-demand coaching, a community that's got your back, and a power-packed library of tools to supercharge your business and career. No more excuses, no more waiting. Get in, level up, and start building the life you've been dreaming about. Visit us at modernobserver.com/boundless success to join today. Let's get you to the next level.
We're here because the news is being distorted. We're here because people are being inundated with misinformation on social media. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
The Middle East heats up again, an American hostage freed, Biden's last inflation report, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Israel's Security Cabinet fully supports President Donald Trump's demand that the Palestinian terrorist group Hamas release all of its hostages by noon on Saturday, or that all hell is going to break out, an Israeli official stated. The declaration comes after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu convened his security cabinet Tuesday after Hamas announced it is delaying the next release of Israeli hostages. The decision I passed in the cabinet unanimously is this: if Hamas does not return our hostages by Saturday noon, the ceasefire will end and the IDF will resume intense combat until Hamas is decisively defeated, Netanyahu said. In light of Hamas's announcement of its decision to violate the agreement and not release our hostages, I instructed the IDF last night to amass forces inside and around the Gaza Strip. This operation is currently underway and will be completed as soon as possible, Netanyahu added. The president of the Palestinian Authority apparently capitulated to the Trump administration by claiming to scrap its long-standing program known as Pay for Slay, which provides payments to Palestinian terrorists and their families. There are, however, conflicting reports about whether the PA ended the program or is trying to hoodwink the Trump administration. Israel's foreign ministry spokesman Oren Marmerstein released a statement on X saying this is a new deception scheme by the Palestinian Authority which intends to continue paying terrorists and their families through alternative payment channels. Mark Fogel, an American teacher detained by Russia during the Biden administration and held for more than 3 years, was welcomed back to the U.S. by President Donald Trump on Tuesday night after the White House secured his release in an exchange. Fogel arrived at the White House late Tuesday draped in an American flag and was greeted by Trump, who said it was an honor to have played a small role in his release. Thank you all, and I love our country, and I'm so happy to be back here, and I wish I could articulate it better, said Fogel, who appeared overwhelmed with emotion as he spoke in the diplomatic reception room. The deal to release Fogel, who was designated as wrongfully detained by the U.S. State Department, was negotiated by Trump's special envoy for the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, and the president's advisors, according to a statement from National Security Advisor Mike Waltz. A second unnamed hostage is expected to be released today. The final read on inflation for the Biden administration was weaker than expected. Inflation ticked higher in January as stubbornly high prices continue to strain Americans' household finances as the Federal Reserve weighs a continued pause to its interest rate cut plans. The Labor Department on Wednesday said that the Consumer Price Index, a broad measure of how everyday goods like gasoline, groceries, and rent cost, increased 0.5% in January, while it rose to 3% on an annual basis. Both the annual figure and the headline CPI figure were higher than the estimates of economists. BuzzFeed head Jonah Peretti says he wants to make the internet fun again. And after years of relying on social media companies to deliver his media empire's content to audiences, BuzzFeed will do so by launching its own social media platform. In a memo released yesterday, Peretti called out TikTok and Meta, writing that respective CEOs Zhang Ximing and Mark Zuckerberg don't care very much about the content, instead being much more interested in technology and AI. Peretti assesses that companies prioritize the judgment of AIs over the tech companies' judgment of human employees. The announcement came after a 1.5 year period where BuzzFeed sold off and shuttered assets and laid people off in a bid to avoid bankruptcy. More companies are backing away from DEI programs. Days after it cut diversity hiring goals, a Google spokesperson told CNBC it no longer marks the start of cultural observances like Pride Month and Black History Month because maintaining hundreds of moments manually and consistently globally wasn't scalable or sustainable, though it said it began making these changes in mid-2024. NPR first reported more than a dozen companies have pared back or removed altogether references to diversity, equity, and inclusion in their 2024 annual reports to investors, including Pepsi, GM, Google, Disney, GE, Intel, PayPal, Chipotle, and Comcast. Most of the pressure to get rid of these DEI programs is coming from investors who have seen major losses because of these programs. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcast app, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.